Did you know that in 2018 more people visited an art museum, science center, historic house or site, zoo, or aquarium than attended a professional sporting event? Charging for admission to museums is a hotly debated topic all around the world. For some, philosophy wins out. They just can't reconcile an educational mission with an entrance fee of any kind. However, others take a more conditional approach, seeing entrance fees as a revenue source that would be downright irresponsible to not at least consider, especially in tough financial times. Free access will encourage more people to find out about their country and help to promote feelings of national unity and identity while promoting greater understanding and acceptance of foreign cultures. Museum entries should be free. First, I will talk about how museums preserve and display our artistic, social, scientific, and political heritage. Then, I will discuss how museums are a crucial source of inspiration and education for our increasingly important creative industries. And finally, I will look at how museums play an important role in helping parents broaden their children's cultural horizons. First, let's get into how museums preserve and display our artistic, social, scientific, and political heritage. First, free access will encourage more people to find out about their country, and second, they display alternative perspectives on history that will promote feelings of national unity. Recording everyday life within a culture is one of the most important pieces of preserving it. With the rate at which cultures are disappearing, careful preservation of daily life is the only hope a heritage group has for recovering its culture. Everyone should have access to such an important cultural resource as a part of their active citizenship, and because of the educational opportunities they offer to people at every age. According to njmaritimemuseum.org, many mainstream history courses and books are biased, focusing on the perspective of the dominant culture and ignoring the thousands of minority cultures with fascinating history to be told. Museums display histories, timelines, and perspectives you may have never heard before, potentially altering the mindsets of people who have simply never been educated outside the mainstream culture. If museums are not funded sufficiently by the government, they will be forced to charge for entry, and this will inevitably deter many potential visitors, especially the poor and those whose educational and cultural opportunities have already been limited. After examining how museums preserve and display our artistic, social, scientific, and political heritage, we can take a look at how museums are a crucial source of inspiration and education for our increasingly important creative industries. First, free entry will help secure prosperity of the whole as society, and second, it will be a sensible investment towards the tourism industry. According to ammd.org, quote, the emotional impact of first-hand encounters with works of art in museum setting can inspire greater recall and more detailed description, which can lead to more complex interpretations, end quote. Free access is an investment in the future of this sector of the economy and therefore has a long-term benefits in securing prosperity for the whole of society. Similarly, tourism is an important sector of our economy, and many visitors will be deterred from visiting our country if they think it will be very expensive to visit its great museums and galleries. According to debatewise.org, visitors to the Victoria and Albert Museum in London already declined by 15% after it started charging for admission. Tourists do contribute hugely to government revenues through the indirect taxes they pay and the jobs they generate, so free museum access to support the tourism industry is a sensible investment. Now that we understand how museums are a crucial source of inspiration and education for our increasingly important creative industries, we can discuss how museums play an important role in helping parents broaden their children's cultural horizons. First, being charged high prices deters family visits, and second, high prices will put the less privileged at an academic disadvantage. In order for a culture to be respected and survive globalization, those of the dominant culture must be educated about minority cultures and their way of life. The best way to do this is through a respectful display of local culture in a museum. According to njmaritimemuseum.org, quote, the earlier a child is educated on the importance of accepting and embracing diversity, the more likely they are to become kind, tolerant adults, end quote. With an educated populace who respects minority cultures, culture loss suddenly finds itself decreasing. Children may have free entry at many museums, but parents are often charged high prices deterring family visits, especially from the poor and from those families who do not prize education so highly. Museums focus on heritage and culture bring people together, creating a network of support for different minorities and groups. Catherine Workman spends every available weekend exploring different cities across the country and across the world. She started wellnessvoyager.com with her friends to share her travels and experiences. Museums and their patrons are critical components in effort to prevent cultural and language loss. These losses occur when the minority culture feels inferior or unimportant and strives to make its children like those of the dominant culture. Again, this is an equal opportunity issue, being one of the reasons why middle-class children outperform their less privileged peers academically. Free access will encourage more people to find out about their country and help to promote feelings of national unity and identity while promoting greater understanding and acceptance of foreign culture. And so to wrap up, first I talked about how museums preserve and display our artistic, social, scientific, and political heritage. Then I discussed how museums are a crucial source of inspiration and education for our increasingly important creative industries. And finally, I looked at how museums play an important role in helping parents broaden their children's cultural horizons. All in all, museum entry should be free. Free access to museums is essential to provide freedom of cultural and educational opportunity. Thank you.